Here's the truth about the numbness and tingling sensation that some of you might have as a result of diabetes. Your nerves are particularly sensitive to blood glucose. And today, we're going to explain why that is. Here's your 2-minute biology on peripheral neuropathy. Save this post. Some of you guys may have heard me talk about GLUT4 receptors on your muscle cells. Well, it turns out that GLUT4 receptors tend to be on many different types of cells, but not your nerve cells. Your nerve cells have GLUT3 transporters. Here's why that matters. All the other cells that require GLUT4, they either need insulin to open those doors or movement in the case of the muscle cells. Either way, those doors have a trigger that opens them. The nerve cells are different. Those doors always stay open. These are the GLUT3 receptors. They do not need an insulin trigger. Now, this is good because evolutionarily, this makes sense. In times of famine, where food is not always abundant, this is when I'm going to need those doors to be open so that my brain and my nervous tissue still works so that I can still survive long enough to be able to hunt for my next meal. So those doors need to be open so that they are constantly hungry for energy in order to power and keep my nervous system and my brain always on. This truly becomes a liability, however, when your blood sugar is always high. Then these cells become particularly vulnerable because the door is always open. So your nerves are some of the hungriest cells that you have in your body, and they require a lot of energy for good reason. But they don't have strong antioxidant defenses or the ability to regenerate quickly. So when the sugar starts pouring in and they're taking in more energy than they can actually use, their mitochondria are going to get overwhelmed. Some of that glucose is going to turn into sorbitol. And if it turns into sorbitol, that sorbitol is going to attract water. And once that water gets into that nerve, it's going to cause the nerve to swell. This swelling causes osmotic pressure, and osmotic pressure can affect the electrical balance within the nerve cell. And you might feel the effect of this in that numbness, that tingling sensation that you feel that is called peripheral neuropathy. Okay? This is why it's important to bring your A1C down, because a high A1C essentially means that you have an environment that's full of blood sugar, and for places, or rather tissue, that don't have the ability to stop the onslaught of blood glucose, such as your nerves, this makes them particularly vulnerable. Bring down that A1C. However, I do need you to know that this is possible to recover if you get far ahead of the damage. Remember, this isn't about working miracles. This is simply about maximizing what your body can do with the tools that we have and with the vitality that you have left. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're ready to start exploring what your body can do to drop that A1C and to lose some weight, let me know in the comments with the word ready, or you can send me a DM. Talk to you soon.